Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Passionately Speaking. We are passionate about speaking, and every single week learn something new that we can add to our speeches. I hope all of you have created what's called a Passionately Speaking notebook so that you can take notes every week and put your notes in there or type them in your computer and have a Passionately Speaking folder. But this information that I'm giving you is gold. It is gold. And when and if I move on to graduate to heaven, you'll have it. You'll have it with you because this is information that's not taught by anybody. I don't think any trend and Dr. Love's out there in the field, and I don't think there is any public speaking trainer with as much experience as me or covers such a wide variety of information as I do. Because you're here, I am almost forced every single week to come up with something new. Sure, I reiterate some topics, but always from a new point of view or a new side of things to keep it fresh. No public speaking trainer that I know of even has a class like this that you can come to and learn every single week. So make sure you're taking advantage of the information, write it down, and go to your archives and go to passionatellyspeaking.com and get the archives. Okay, so our topic today is an exciting one, something we don't talk about that often, and that is the hidden language, the hidden language of stage movement. We've talked a tiny bit about stage movement, but today I want to talk about the hidden language, what's not real obvious, and what you're saying that you might even not know that you are saying it unless you are aware. But most speakers, what I mean by that is most speakers think that movement is energy. They're full of energy, so they're moving on stage. They're going over here, they're going over there. They got to show movement to show that they're enthusiastic, and actually, it is not that at all.
Mm.
Right? Elite speakers, experienced speakers know that movement, no matter how subtle, is communication. Communication. It is simply part of your speech. And when you practice your speech, when you are, advanced enough, you will practice your movement. We talk a lot about arm movement and gestures and making them count, but I'm talking about the whole entire body now. That kind of movement. So tonight I am going to give you some ways and ideas and some, power, just some power in your own body and things to be aware of, think about, and actually use to your advantage and your audience's advantage. And they won't even know it's hidden. They won't even know your intentions. Now, I'm going to share this information. It is not NLP, it is not URL, it is not AI, it is not anything. It is home style public speaking knowledge that is usable. And once you hear some of it, you'll go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. So, no, this is not smoke and mirrors. It is you with clear intention communicating with your body to your audience. How cool is that? Say that's cool. All right, everybody ready for this?
That's cool.
Yay. All right. Okay. So let's talk about number one. Uh, let's talk, and this is powerful, and that is moving forward or forward movement. And when I say movement, I'm talking about the whole body. Now, when someone does, I'm going to go around because um, if we can lock it in with our own voice, we'll remember it better. So when I say forward movement, what do you think that you're telling the audience or signaling to the audience or expressing to the audience when you do that? So when I move forward, what is it that I'm saying? Okay, who wants to take a stab at it?
I'll
Dr. Love.
take one. Oh, I'm sorry.
Dr.
Okay.
Love first.
Okay. So what I get from forward movement is that it's come with me or this is very important, or let's connect, or showing confidence. And I'm speaking with you, not at you. That's another one, I think. Another one is that we're teaching people how to be in rapport. But
Right.
you're making a point in your presentation. There's a point.
Right. Very good. They're all perfect. They're all good. All right, Tanya, what else?
I was going to say the same thing. I was going to say confidence. It gives you the confidence, and it's like you, whatever you're going to say after that, you really want their attention.
Bingo. Exactly. Exactly. So what it's saying, pay attention. Like Dr. Love
Mhm.
said, I'm going to say something important. Something important's coming out of my mouth next. You don't want to miss this, right? I'm sharing something very personal, right? Or like Dr. Love said, come with me. Come on, let's go, right? All of those things in just one simple movement. That's what you're saying. But how many of you have actually used it on purpose, right? Now, maybe sometimes we speak and we speak instinctively, absolutely, but sometimes we don't. Now, if your instinct doesn't take over and say, step forward, you know in your mind that, hey, this is important. Is it okay if I share a little bit about myself? Boom, right? Gets their attention. They know something important. So now, how cool is that we can use this? If you want to share something that's important, we can use it in our clothes, right? This is something important. And that way we won't lose them. Really powerful, really powerful. All right. And also, like Dr. Love said, you're delivering a key point, right? This is important. It's a key point. Maybe you're sharing a story. Maybe you're making an offer, right? And maybe you're asking them to make some sort of a commitment, right? All those things you're saying. So what does that mean? So when we're doing our story, we need to step forward. When we have something, maybe if we have 5 steps, but there's something that's really important, we want to step forward. And certainly when we're making that offer or that close. I've seen a lot of people in speeches, they start to retreat. They make the close, right? And they back up instead. You never want to do that. I'll tell you when you want to back up next. But right now, just know the closer you move, the more intimate the moment feels to your audience. The closer you move. Now, here's an example. I was speaking on on a stage. It was a big stage. There was a big audience. Les Brown was supposed to come. Of course, he couldn't come. Whatever. So the audience in the auditorium was huge. The problem is the audience wasn't. There was only 40 people. So I knew that standing up on that huge stage with a PowerPoint that was as big as the stage was overkill. It just wasn't right. So I told the, producers, whatever, I told them, no, I'm going to stand on the floor off stage and I'm not going to use my PowerPoint. As speakers, you have to be ready to move, right? In a moment's notice when you feel your audience. Just because you rehearsed it that way with PowerPoint doesn't mean that you should use your PowerPoint, right? Be able to be flexible, let it go, be in with the mood and the vibe of the situation. So I jotted down some quick notes and I want to make sure that I didn't forget. And I just laid them on a table in front of me and I stepped down. I didn't even step up on stage, not even to be introduced. And I just stayed on this. They were sitting down, so I was still, standing and delivered my whole presentation that way. So that is really important because I wanted to get closer. Remember, the closer you move, the more intimate the moment. I didn't want to be on stage and have it be an alienated, feeling or a big gap between me and my audience. I did something similar when I spoke in Reno. And that was, we had a big stage and a big audience. And I stayed on the stage, but the audience was here and there and, just spotted throughout this 200 chair audience. And so I asked them if they would all come closer, if they would come closer and sit in the first couple of rows. When you ask your audience something, they will tend to do it. All it takes is one person to stand up and do it. Just encourage one person, and then they all will follow. Now, if one or two doesn't, who cares? I don't like pester them, but the majority, as long as you tell why, I'd love you to get closer because I got something secret to tell you. What did I do? I just moved forward, right? And now they're moving forward. So don't be afraid to rearrange yourself when you speak or your audience. Got it? Real important. Move forward. Either them move forward or you move forward. All right. Now, number two, the backward. Let's talk about moving backwards. There is a place for it. When it's intentional, it could mean reflection. You're reflecting, right? When I used to work for corporate America, okay, so I can go backwards or back in time, kind of like, let me think about this, or let's zoom out for a moment and take a bigger picture. Let's consider, the whole picture. Let's consider the whole world, whatever. That's what it means. Now, if you are giving a point and you don't mean that, and you back up, it could come across like you're trying to retreat, like you're a little afraid, right? You're too afraid, especially if you're doing it in your clothes. But when you do it during your presentation, it could mean these other things, but you have to be thinking of it first, and the words have to follow. You can't just back up and go, oh, yeah, you know what? I'm considering new stuff. No. Let's think about that for a moment. Let's look at the bigger world vision or bird's eye view or whatever it is. Use it for your advantage. And it's really powerful. All right. So you might say something like, okay, we'll bypass that. Okay, so number three. Now, this is one that I've used. I've seen people use. Not everybody uses it. Sometimes you're in too small of an area and you can't use it, but that is stage left and stage right. Now, everybody knows what stage left and right is, right? Okay, it's the opposite. So if you're looking at the stage, it's stage right and stage left. But if you're turned around and you're on stage, it's the opposite. Got it? So you just have to know because you have to perform for your audience. So it's what is stage right and stage left for them. Think of that. So when we start, a good time to use it is when you're talking about time, right? You start one way and then you go back in time. Now, if you were looking on stage, where do you think a speaker should start time and end time? Right or left? It should be their left. Exactly. Right. But it's your right because you're going stage right. You're the opposite. And that's where people mess this up. So you want to go, like if you're looking, I'm in the audience, right? And I'm looking. So I start here, right? Boop, 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 boop. That's what you want to see. But see, when I do it to you, I'm the opposite, right? So I need to start here and go, boop, 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 boop. And how it works is this. When I started in public speaking in corporate America, back in the 80s, and then I learned and and now you walk it, right? You walk it. And now here I am today teaching millions of people how to speak. Got it? It's so easy to do. And this is what Renee was talking about the other day. When we can use it a second way. So this is when we're telling a story, right? Remember, you have to do it how your audience looks. So if your audience is here, then you've got to start and go this way, but it's actually your right to your left, right? Are you with me on that? Okay. So now,
No, I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay.
okay, all
So
right.
if I'm facing the stage, I'm
Yes,
I'm I'm on stage and I'm facing the audience.
yes.
So I'm I have people to my right, I have people to my left. You're saying that I start on my left and go to the right as I'm talking?
No, because no. Okay, your audience is looking at you. So your
Yes.
audience, okay, is there. People, we read from left to right. Let me make it easier. We read from left to right.
Right.
But because you're on stage facing them, you have to pretend you're turned around. And what is left to right for them? It's over here, your right hand to the left.
Oh, when they're looking at me, that's their left hand and it's my right. So
Yes,
I start on my right and
yes,
start walking the other way.
yes, always.
Oh, hmm,
Always, right? It'll
interesting.
never ever change as long as you're looking at your audience. So you don't have to
Wow,
think, oh, left to right, what am I doing? No, you're always going to start your journey with your right hand and go to the left.
got it.
And it'll be for them, it'll be the opposite because we read from left to right. Yeah.
And that's when you're talking and walking?
Yes, if you're talking about like I was in corporate America and now I'm, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. If you're
Wow.
talking
Okay.
about changing, or you could do it when you have a client. I have a client, right? And I'm going to be like I'm talking to you. Okay. So I have a client and she started studying with me and then blah 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 and now today she is making her business increased 43% overall, right? So I start there and I come here.
Well, that's really true because when we've been taught that when we're sitting with a client, we always put them to our right, which is actually their left. Yeah.
Mm.
Because we're talking and we're put them to our right. And it has something to do with the right side of the brain or the left side. But I can't, when I'm sitting down with a client, I can't have them to my left. I'm all messed up. I don't know what to say. Right. So I always put them to my right. And so I
Okay.
guess that has something to do with it. I don't know.
Okay.
It also depends if you're in a room with sunlight and there's a window behind you. That's another thing. That's in an office setting. Tanya, does that make sense? I always try to have my back to the window, and
Yeah.
so I'm facing the
Hmm.
client, and then they're usually to my right or right in front of me if I'm in an
Yeah.
office. But I always like
Hmm.
to have the light behind me, and I like
Hmm.
to be facing the door that people come in. I do not like to have my back to the door. It just
Right.
as a speaker. RB, what's your opinion about that?
Well, you have to be careful if there's too much light, and we've seen this, right? If there's too much light behind you, then they can't see your face. And if they can't see your face, they can't connect with you. If they can't connect with you, they can't buy from you. So make
Mm.
sure you sit there like and have Jim or somebody sit there and in the same time of day because different days it's brighter, right? And just make sure that you can see all the detail on his face, the smile, the twinkle in his eye. And if they can't, then you just need to go sideways, really, because you want to see their face. So, either draw the blinds or turn sideways. Yeah. The light behind might not be serving you well. Yeah. Okay. Good though. Thank you for that. Okay. So let's come back and talk about the other things it does. So I talked about the past to the future. It also can be used for problem to solution, but it's same thing. Their left to right, which would be your right to left, is how you have to do it. All right. It could be a before and after. Right? If you're talking about weight loss, or you're talking about marriage, or you're talking about children, right? Or whatever. It could be a before and after, or even an old identity and a new identity. So anytime something, like is transformed now, past to future, problem to solution, before and after, you can use that on stage. Again, this has to be practiced at home with your speech so that it doesn't feel awkward. And when you get to the location, practice it. It may not work because you don't have room to move. I've been places where I couldn't move. Guess what? You can use your hands, right? This means what? This is future. I mean, if you're looking at the audience, but I would have it off. This would be present, and this would be future. Present and future. Present and future. Okay. Now, online, it's a little different because we're all looking the same. So if you were online looking at Zoom, it's still left to right because we're all seeing left to right. But I'm trying to teach you as if you're on stage. So I hope I'm not confusing you with because we're looking at it. Okay. So on stage, it's your right to left. In here, it's still left to right. Okay. Got that? All right. So I might say something like, okay, when I first started public speaking 20 years ago. Now, again, I'm going to pretend, I'll just do it in online. 20 years ago, I was terrified of public speaking. And then I learned it. And today I'm, a master speaker trainer. So you could do it for your story, within your story as well. A lot of fun. All right, number 4. Now, this is where, again, I said a minute ago, sometimes you don't have room and you just have to be in one spot. So, but here's the advantage. Stillness, just being still in one spot, equals authority. As long as you're standing in the rooted position, it's authority. Now, who can tell me the rooted position? Okay, Dr. Renee? The rooted position. What does that mean?
Okay, so it's your legs are shoulder side by side, shoulder side length from your shoulder. Okay,
Right?
from your shoulder down. Okay, not one in front, not fifth position like in ballet, but 2 feet facing forward and standing shoulder apart. That's it. Hello, shoulder apart. Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So as long as you're standing there, you can be still and look like authority, confidence, all of that. Remember, stillness creates power. You don't feel like you have to be, moving around and all this stuff. You can be still and exude that kind of confidence. It's confidence, it's certainty. Now, certainty, one of the things that stuck with me with just listening to Tony Robbins and going to his seminars and everything, is he says, he or she, I'm going to just use the word he, but he who is most certain wins. He who is most certain wins. That could be in an argument, a negotiation, whatever it might be. Attracting people, selling, whoever is most certain wins. It's certainty. Certainty is power. So confidence, certainty, leadership, and presence is what your audience will sense once you stop moving. If you just keep moving back, even if it's back and forth, that's a technique of a hidden language. But if you use it too often, it's just pacing back and forth and you're not communicating anything, right? So I'm never saying that. Right. Most powerful person in the room, besides the speaker on stage, of course, is the one who's the most still, right? Maybe their mouth is still, maybe they're still in a corner observing, but they always look confident and they always have this kind of allure about them that attracts attention. And that's exactly what we want to do when we are speaking, is keep that attention. And stillness commands it, commands it. All right, number 5, crossing the stage with transitions. All right, crossing the stage. Now, When I say cross the stage, I'm saying literally moving from one side of the stage to the other. I'm not signaling past to present. I'm not saying problem to solution. I'm not communicating that. I'm just transitioning to the other side of the stage because I want to. But again, I do it with purpose. So here's what it does. When I purposefully walk across the stage, it tells the audience, we're entering a new idea. I'm changing the subject. I'm thinking about maybe my PowerPoint. See, it's never a wander. It always deliberate. You always think it first. The other way that it's used is when audiences start participating in a Q&A, right? And so if you see somebody, like I'm on stage looking at you, if I see somebody to my right raise their hand, I actually walk to the left, open-handed, and say yes. That way I've included the entire audience. If I stayed on the right side and just moved up to him and said, you have a question, what is it? I've left out my entire audience. Now, I don't care if that audience is 25 people or 250 people. If you leave out anybody, that could be the person that's going to buy from you, right? So it's a technique. So instead, Renee has a question. I move over here and I say, yes, Renee, what is your question? Right? Now, Katrina, she's on this side of the screen. Katrina, I see her raise her hand out of the corner of my eye. I walk over here. Da, 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 da. Katrina, what is your question? And I just kind of go like this until she starts and then I can put it down. I've just included everybody. So it's a technique and it's powerful. So make sure that you never wander around, you never pace, but you move with a purpose in mind. All right, number 6. Now, we talked about a pause. We talked about the verbal pause and the power of the pause. We talked about that in other sessions. But pauses can be physical as well. So, like when you stop moving, you plant your feet, you hold eye contact with somebody, and you create kind of that tension or that anticipation. And it's just for like a few seconds, as if you're thinking, but for some reason, it's like a connection when you look at them in the eye. It's a very powerful connection because they're not sure what's going to come out of your mouth. They don't know if you're going to ask them a question or what you're going to do. So it creates that kind of tension and anticipation. Now, oftentimes the audience, because if it's a big audience, not one person doesn't know if you're looking at them or not. You know, we've all go, what, are you looking at me? So it's a group, but the audience tends to lean in, right? Because they want to hear what you have to say. And many speakers they rush that silence because it does feel uncomfortable for them and often the audience. Don't rush it. Let it build. Let it be powerful. Silence is part of your performance, right? As speakers, we are performers. Don't forget that. The more dramatic it is, the more rehearsed it is, the more articulate, right? Dr. Love, I mean, Dr. Love gets this. She knows it's a performance. So that takes a lot of practice. Actors practice, practice, practice.
And also, Arvee, you're absolutely right. Even our clothes, we're selling, we're performing, we're performing, and part of that is our presentation of how we look: makeup, hair, clothes. And you taught us that too. Do you remember those lessons about how we look?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So this past Saturday, I don't know if I told all of you this, but a while back, almost a year now, our gym was asked to kind of audition for a reality show. Remember? And I was selected. There was like 9, 10 girls selected from our gym. And so I was one of them. And we did interviews and, we did different things. And nothing happened, you know, nothing happened. The producers didn't pick it up. They edited it, blah, blah, blah. Last we heard, nothing. Well, all of a sudden, out of the blue, another production company wants to pick it up, right? But they wanted another um, interview. Well, my trainer told me that I was a shoe-in, that they loved me, you know, partly because of my age. I'm going to be honest with you, because I'm like a unicorn, you know. And hey, whatever works, I don't care if it works, great. But we got to do it again, right? And there's like 3 other people that were selected that weren't in the original one, but we all got to do it again separately. We did interviews, and we had to wear bikinis, right? And it was on Zoom. And here we are. And the guy's like, stand up. Okay. And we know the guy because he did the last one. So it's just a young 38-year-old, you know. So he's like, okay. And I told him, I said, well, just remember, I'm bulking right now. I'm not in competition mode. I'm bulking for another week, right? That's when you eat more and you gain weight and gain body fat. So but we had to do it, right? So we did. I asked the other girls, what did you do for that? What'd you do? And anyway, you pose and all of that. I forgot where I was going with it, but I was going somewhere as a lesson. Well, anyway, I don't know where I was going with it.
Oh,
But
how you look, makeup,
no,
or hair?
something you
No.
said prior, and I don't remember
We're performers.
what to wear.
Yeah, what to
Thank
wear.
you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. Thank you. What to wear. Okay, so here we are. We're on Zoom and everything. And, we could have just wore our workout clothes. They specifically asked for bikinis. So I tried on like a dozen of my bikinis to see which one would have the most power. I picked my red one, of course. But here's the thing, I put makeup on, I did my hair, I made sure that it was like as if I was stepping on stage at a contest, right? Maybe not quite as much, but just about. And that's what you have to do. I could have just not have any makeup on, just coming from the gym, but I left the gym early, put the makeup on, blah, blah, blah. That's what you need to do. Anytime you step on stage, it's an audition for doing business with you. Anytime you go to a networking meeting, it's an audition to do business with you. And that's where people fail. They'll come to a networking meeting with their pajamas. I don't know, but something that looks like pajamas, right? Right, Dr. Love? I'm just like, I had a young girl one time that showed up in cut up jeans. Cut up jeans. Now I know it's a style and she probably paid $200 for those jeans, but it's not appropriate because I looked at it and I went, whoa, I don't want to, you'll never catch me. I don't care how designer they are in a cut up pair of jeans or shorts. You'll never catch me in that because I think it looks what it looks like they're cut up jeans. How about you, Dr. Love? Would you wear something like
No,
that?
I don't, Arvee, I don't even have jeans. And everyone here wears jeans. And they go to a fancy restaurant like they just came from cleaning the garage.
Yeah.
Denim and flannel. I said, are you kidding me? Or
Yeah.
cut off jeans. So we dress up. Saturday night, we're date night, fancy restaurant. Jim and I dress us up. We dress up. He puts on a suit or a sport coat and a jacket and a handkerchief, matching handkerchief. Oh, I love
Good.
that. And cologne. And that's how we go. So it's just what we do. We've done that all the years, and I love that, going out like that with my husband, or before we were married, when I would go out with different boyfriends. The other thing is, it is a performance. There's people who don't like to do sales, but we are selling ourselves, stepping on stage, or even when we leave the door, even when we go to the gym.
That's
I'm always
right.
in not hair and makeup, but my hair is usually in a thing. But if I'm going to the gym, I'm still selling myself, because people are going to say, because I'm kind of unusual here, because I'm like Eurasian and everybody's here white or they're black, and so they'll say, what do you do, and things like that. And it's part of networking, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Anyway, I'll get off my little soapbox. Okay, let's do number 7. Number 7, open space creates freedom. Open space creates freedom. So what that means is using the entire stage. Using the entire stage, whatever you have, if it's at a restaurant and you don't have a formal stage, block out some, use it so people know it's the stage. But that open space creates freedom. It makes you look more credible, more confident, and more influential. So again, all roads lead to Rome. All roads lead to doing business with you and saving lives and helping them. So that's why it's important. So claim your space, claim your space. It shows ownership, and your movement tells the audience, I belong here. I belong on stage. All right, number 8, and the last one before we go. I know it's getting time. Movement must follow meaning. And I've said that throughout this training. Movement must follow meaning, or meaning must start the movement, right? You don't just move for no reason. Everything has a reason and has a purpose. So the biggest mistake speakers make is moving because they feel nervous, right? So pacing, or just, blah, blah, or somebody's over there and they go and talk to them. Don't do that. You have to make sure that they're confident moves, because random movement communicates anxiety, lack of certainty, and loss of control, and just inexperience as a speaker. So purposeful movement is what? Confidence, leadership, intentionality, certainty, mastery, like that you are the best in your field, the best in your industry. That's what you want to be. You want to be a master. You want to earn the right to be a master. Someone shared with me the other day, they said, oh, we were talking about contest, competition. They said, oh, yeah, so and so, she's in the senior division. I said, senior division? It's not senior division. It's called master's division, right? Which is 50 plus, 60 plus, but it's not seniors. We have to make sure we use the right lingo. And you always want to be a master. If you've lived on this earth long enough, you're automatically a master, not a senior. You've mastered what it is you do. I'm the the master speaker trainer. I gave myself that title because I had the years to back it up. I've got the experience to back it up. And I'm a master. I've got over what Dr. Renee, they say, I forgot who it was, starts with an F, but they said if you've done something 100,000 hours, you're a master,
You're a master.
right? 100,000 hours. So I'm way more than
Way more. Way more.
and most of you've done it too, way more. So, and you could tell by how many times do you break it down, count it. How many, times a week do you do whatever it is you do, whether it's write a book, read a book, whatever, and then times, the week, the years you've been doing it, and you'll be surprised at that number and how big it really is. All right. So, a little simple formula, because I love formulas that you can kind of remember, is make a point, pause, move, and make a new point. All right. So you could, like, through your 5 points or 6 points, make a move, right? Make a point, pause. Remember that power of pause, stillness, and then move with a purpose. And then again, deliver again, make a new point. All right. So that's kind of simple as it is, but never move. I want to make sure this is clear. Never move while you're talking. While you're delivering great content, do not move. I don't care if it's your story. So let's be clear on this. I talk. Can I share my story with you? Everybody says yes. Ooh, I move. Boop. Great. Blah, 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 blah. Stop. Boop. Now, blah, 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 right? So never be talking while you're walking, ever, in life, ever. Right? That's a mistake people make. And I made that mistake in college when I used to present. I thought it would be really cool for me to start my presentation from my chair and walk all up in front of the audience. What a goofball I was. I didn't know, right? I didn't know. So don't do that. All right. So remember to, let's see. All right, so don't talk while you're doing it. Deliver it, pause, let it land on the audience, and then move again with your lips sealed. Okay, so that's our lesson for today. That's the hidden language of stage movement. So, did this help? Yay. All right, do you have any questions? We have about 6 minutes. Do you have any questions before we end our call today?
I don't have a question. I have a comment. That was so good. When you were saying that you walk across the stage, I thought you're walking and you're talking. So I'm really glad that you said that, because I would have been saying, let me tell you my story. And I would have been walking left or right. They would have said, what is she doing?
Right. And remember, even if your stage, let's say your stage is huge. When I say go from one side to the other, you don't have to go the whole length of the stage, just enough to get that point across that it's before and after or problem to solution. Just enough. But again, practice. That's why I like to go and see a stage first and then practice, if at all possible, the month before, the year before, whatever. So you can kind of get it in mind when you practice the movement. Yeah.
Oh, this was fantastic, Arvee. Thank you so much. I'm trying to
You're
see, oh, the moving backwards and reflection. I had a question about that. When you're reflecting, like, about maybe the past relationship or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? And then now here's the potential, the possibility of a fabulous relationship.
Absolutely. That would be a great way to paint that picture. Or if you're doing a testimonial and here's where they were breaking up, and now over here, they're enjoying vacations together and a lot of great time together. Yes.
I have a thing next week called Romance and Finance.
Oh, I like
Isn't that cool? And so my finance girl, two of them now, they said that they can't talk about finance. But I said, no, it's not about 401ks or index funds or anything or stocks. It's more like communicating when you're together. How do we budget our money? Who pays for what? That's a finance question. I mean, I could answer that, but I want to give someone else the opportunity to bring their people and then my people together. So it's not going to work out. They're very, I guess, strict SEC laws, because it's an event, it's a presentation. So then I said, well, if I have you in the audience and we refer to you as a financial planner, you're just giving suggestions, sitting down as an attendee, could you share some answers to the questions? And they said yes.
Well, you could just do it yourself without a financial planner. You could just call it love and money.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, even Jim said that. Yeah, he said, honey, you could do it all. Just, follow what Arvee is saying, and just talk about finance with what all the experience that I have about people asking me about money.
But change the word finance.
I just did it because it kind of rhymed, romance and finance, the C. Get it? So I'll just call it love it. How about love and money or something like that?
Love and money sounds better, because it sounds like love for money or love of money, but it's love and money.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd stay away from that word finance, or the SEC is gonna
Yeah. Okay.
get
Good.
on you.
Love and
Not
money.
worth.
Okay.
And
Thank
people
you.
won't listen because they think, oh, I already have a financial advisor,
Yeah.
and you're not about that. So yeah,
Love
won't
and
help
money.
you get business.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and Katrina had a question. You're muted.
I was going to say exactly what you said about the word finance. It's real formal. And so it sounds like you're going to talk about 401ks and investments and all of that. so, but Arvee said it. And the other thing was, can you explain the rooted position again?
Okay, it's where you're standing shoulder length apart, right? And the roots are your feet are like you think they have roots and they're going into the bottom of the ground. So you can't move, you're not going to waver or be on one hip, right?
Okay.
You'll just be straight and it's a position of confidence.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Harvey,
Yes, Ramona.
I'm assuming that if you're like at a business networking meeting and they only give you 5 minutes, you're going to use that pose, just the stance of still.
Probably because of the nature of you're doing it from your chair sometimes, but you can use your hands to represent left and right, right? I started, with my children here, and then I had 12 children. And now today I'm teaching people how to communicate with their children. So you can use your hands if you can't use the physical body, or you could just shift slightly. Doesn't
Okay.
have to be a lot. Try it. Try it when you rehearse.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Well, there's Miss Beautiful. Woo, going to a party tonight.
Wow.
Looking good.
Tanya, are you going to a party tonight? Oh,
You're
I can't hear
muted.
you.
You're muted.
I'm going to a mixer.
Ooh, you look good. You got a lot
Oh.
of business cards and things like that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow, you look
Oh
fantastic.
yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let us see your outfit.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't put my outfit on. I'm getting ready to put that on
Oh,
later.
well, what do you have on? Just your bra?
Oh, no, I have on
Okay.
this.
Oh, okay. Well, it looked pretty fancy. That's why.
Oh yeah, no, it's just something I got on until I get ready to go.
Oh, okay. All right.
Look, I love the hair. The hair looks great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Whatever you did or however long or the expense, it's definitely worth the investment. It looks fantastic.
Thank you.
Yes.
And Dr. Love, I sent you something. I don't know if you sent it back because I never
I sent
did
it
get
back. Yes, I sent it back last week. It
Oh,
was the
okay, last week.
revised presentation of your what you had sent me.
Oh, okay, because I had been
the
looking for it.
Imagine. It's the Imagine. Remember the Imagine?
Perfect.
Yeah, I sent it
Thank
last
you.
week on Tuesday.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
You're
I was
welcome.
gone last week on Tuesday. So, yeah. Okay. Perfect. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. You're very welcome.
Okay, great. All right. Well, we'll end our call today, give you a couple of minutes. And we'll see you next week. And we'll have another great topic next week. Next week, we're going to talk about, I don't know, maybe TED Talks.
Ooh, I like
Oh,
that.
that's good.
Yeah, TED Talks, how to create an 18-minute masterpiece.
Oh, I love that.
Oh,
Oh,
That's a good one.
okay. So
Yes.
make sure you come back next week. Have a great week. God bless and get out there and speak. Mwah.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you,
Good
ladies.
night.
See you
Bye,
next
Coach.
week. Have a wonderful week. God bless you all.